The chapter opens right at the front doors of Toho Boxing Gym. Itagaki again strolls in with a smile on his face, calm, casual, like he belongs there. The gym staff looks confused. Mashiba, standing nearby, looks less confused and more like he wants to throw someone through a wall. Itagaki tells Mashiba that his injuries have healed and he wants to spar again. Mashiba scoffs. So you haven't learned your lesson? But then Itagaki drops the bomb. He mentions the beach incident. Kumi going to the beach with a coworker, staying overnight. That's all it takes. Mashiba's expression shifts. Silence. Then get in the ring. The spar begins instantly, and it's electric. Fists flying, speed on full display. Itagaki is fast, genuinely dangerously fast, and Mashiba isn't holding back either. These two are going at it like they're trying to settle something real. Meanwhile, the scene cuts to the Sayama gym. Makino is in the middle of his own spar, and reporter Mari Iemura is watching closely from ringside, talking with the Sayama coach. The coach explains everything with calm confidence. Makino has been sparring against bantamweights and fighters 2 full classes below him. Why? Because Itagaki's movements are terribly fast, and this is the only way to simulate that speed in training. Mari watches the spar. Makino traps his lighter opponent on the ropes with ease. She notes how he's so comfortable in the hitman style. It looks like it was born with him. The coach shakes his head. He says Makino is actually a gentle, quiet boy by nature. Adopting the hitman style wasn't his idea. Makino chose it himself after a certain match changed something inside him. His consciousness reformed. Mari admits this is a dangerous opponent for Itagaki. Even without fouls, Makino can fight. He's trained obsessively, and the possibility that their first match repeats itself? Very high. Back to the Mashiba household. Mashiba is heading out, and Kumi catches him at the door, asking what the rush is. Mashiba tells Kumi he's going clothes shopping. With someone. He calls it a rendezvous. Kumi freezes. Rendezvous? Her brother, the terrifying, overprotective Mashiba Ryō, is going on a date? She panics. She calls Ippo immediately. Ippo rushes over, equally shaken. The two of them decide to follow Mashiba, and their tale is hilariously bad. Mashiba is less than 5 meters ahead of them. Ippo scolds Kumi for being so obvious. They watch from a distance as Mashiba meets his mystery companion. They hold their breath. Then, it's Itagaki, cheerful, grinning Itagaki Manabu, waving hello like nothing is unusual about this at all. Both Kumi and Ippo visibly deflate. Ippo is stunned. Kumi looks disappointed and relieved at the same time. The unlikely duo heads to a cheap clothing store. Itagaki talks Mashiba's ear off about knockoff brands and discount deals. Mashiba actually listens. It's almost normal. After shopping, they walk into the Hirosue restaurant and sit down. Ippo and Kumi slip in and eavesdrop from nearby, hidden behind menus.
Itagaki brings up the beach incident again, confirming that nothing happened between Kumi and Ippo. Mashiba still can't believe it and grumbles that he'll never accept Kumi dating Makunochi Ippo. But Itagaki pushes back immediately. He tells Mashiba that Kumi is an adult now, and if he keeps trying to control her life, she might rebel. Mashiba suddenly snaps and grabs Itagaki by the collar, revealing that after losing their parents, Kumi became the only family he had left. To him, protecting her is everything. Even so, Itagaki refuses to back down, insisting Mashiba needs to let Kumi make her own choices. And surprisingly, Mashiba slowly admits he might be right. Ippo and Kumi, hiding nearby, can barely believe what they're hearing. Kumi whispers that this is the first time she's ever seen her brother actually enjoy a conversation with someone else. Then the mood shifts into something deeper. Mashiba asks Itagaki why he's so obsessed with the Rookie King tournament. There has to be a reason. Itagaki pauses. Then he opens up. He talks about his debut match, how he went in cocky, thinking that even if he lost, it was fine, he'd win next time, no big deal. Then, after the match, Ippo found him in the waiting room, and Ippo said those words, "Someone like you isn't a pro." Just a few words, but they hit Itagaki like a punch he couldn't see coming. He had always believed he was doing enough, that he belonged, and in that moment, that confidence shattered. He came to the pros chasing a rival from his amateur days. That guy isn't what drives him anymore. What drives him now is simpler, and it's written all over his face as he says it. He wants to fight a good match. He wants Ippo to see it, and he wants Ippo to tell him, "You look like a pro now." That's all. That's the whole reason. Outside the restaurant, Ippo and Kumi walk home quietly under the night sky. Kumi says it softly. That was probably the first time her brother ever met someone who wasn't afraid to tell him the honest truth. Everyone else flinches around Mashiba. Itagaki doesn't. Ippo thinks about it. He points out that Itagaki isn't afraid of Takamura either. He's just always himself, no matter who he's standing in front of. Kumi smiles. She hopes the two of them can become real friends. Maybe it'll teach her brother to relax a little. But Ippo's thoughts go further. He thinks it's more than just Itagaki's personality. Mashiba acknowledged Itagaki's strength in that ring when they sparred. Strength earns respect, even from someone like Mashiba. And quietly, Ippo realizes something. He never needed to say anything to Itagaki, because in that ring, from the way Itagaki moved and fought, it already looked like a splendid pro. Kumi arrives home. Mashiba is sitting there, calm and unbothered. She asks, "Aren't you going to ask where I was?" Mashiba just smiles. Kumi stares at him. Then she tells him to stop acting so weird and creepy. The chapter closes on the image of Ippo's face, thoughtful, warm, finally understanding something true about the young fighter who calls him senpai. Itagaki said he wants Ippo to call him a pro, but next chapter, his real test is about to begin, and his opponent has been training for exactly this moment. Like and subscribe to stay with the journey.